quote, "This one's for the whole ball and chain. This is all the marbles. This is the whole backs of bolts and backs of ball, backs of multi wax right there, guys. We are going cup racing for the championship. We're starting off here in Kansas. One driver will get eliminated tonight. We have Mills, Mills is up there. We got Smitty, we got Wicket and Buck. Mills and Buck at the lowest point in points right now, with Smitty is leading the way. So we got Brian, Arch, myself. We're going to have another great race, and we're going to end season 3 of Giggity tonight, guys. And it has been a fun, fantastic year, and this championship week has been nothing but intense all week, Brian.
Yes, it has. It's been really intense getting up to here all season long. A lot of good drivers, competitive, and we're looking for a good show. What are
Arch,
your
do you?
thoughts, Arch?
Well, I'm expecting the same amazing racing we've had for the last 3 weeks, man. I'm telling you guys what, we've had some exciting battles that I still can't even believe we had. I mean, look at them two races from last night, Talladega and Bristol. Bristol, we went with less than 3 cautions for the entire race. It was good, clean, side-by-side racing, the whole battle, the whole fight there. And then we go to Talladega. Where else do you see 16 to 18 cars in a single row line tearing it down? Nowhere except for Giggity. We bring you the best racing. We have some of the best drivers in the league, and it's been so awesome to commentate these races the last 3 weeks, man.
Jumping over here to the leaderboard on the dailies just to see who's been doing some practice here at Kansas. Doesn't appear to be a lot of these guys. I see Mills down there in 10th. They just raced here a couple weeks, well, last race in the custom car. Again, we will be in sliders tonight. So a lot of these guys already have their slider preset up in. I know a lot of the guys are out there were doing the esports qualifying. So I think their mindset. We know Kansas is one of those HWH tracks, Brian, that high, wide, and handsome. You want to get up by that wall. You don't want to scratch it. Don't want to touch it. It will slow you down just a little bit, momentum, or bounce you down into somebody else. The medium line works good to pass, but that high line, that momentum, that line, and that draft you can pull off of that is just incredible. So we'll see a lot of that tonight at Kansas, I expect, especially in sliders. I know they're getting ready to finish up qualifying. The excitement level throughout pre-race in the lobbies when I was talking to everybody was through the roof. Like I said, this is it. This is what it's all about, boys and girls. We are going to finish this up. We're going to take 4 of these drivers, and then we're going to put them on one track with a bunch of other people. Anybody can mix it up. Then we're going to see the points afterwards, and we're taking the 3 of those, and they're going to go head on head on head. No points. Best finish wins at Homestead.
I'm excited for Homestead. That's a track that I really like. That you hear a lot of drivers in this game complain about. Uh, it's coming off 2 and 4, man. You get so ridiculous loose for no reason, no exception, dude. There's no reason for your car to be that loose, and it's worse than Bristol, man. And I love Bristol. That's why I think I love Homestead, and I think that's why I don't lose control as much coming off that corner as some other drivers. So for me, it's definitely one of the favorite tracks we're gonna go to. And Kansas, we saw what happened there at the developmental race 2 weeks ago. We had 32 cars in one race, spread out, 4 or 5 wide, beautiful racing there. There's just so much track to use, and I'm looking forward to both these races, man.
Brian, of these two tracks, which do you personally prefer? I get talk to some of these guys; they have their favorites and stuff. But of these two tracks, which one do you like most?
Um, let's go Kansas. It's it's got a bit more banking to it, and it's a fun track. Once you get your car, where you want it.
Yeah,
Turn two is pretty tricky coming out, but other than that, I think the rest of
sliders.
it's
The
pretty good.
slider scales make it
Yeah.
different, doesn't it, Brian?
Yeah, it does. Depending on which one you're on, it will make a difference throughout the race, especially till the first pit stops.
Depending upon how you drive, like to drive your car too. depends on how loose you set it up. A lot of these guys are going to hope there's going to be a long run, which I'm assuming we will see quite a bit long run. I'm not saying we may not see a caution, which we don't want to, but these guys probably have their sliders set up for a long run, a little bit tighter at the beginning, maybe with tire falls off, then the car comes into them. They don't want it to wear it out too quick. Some guys on wheels, some guys on controllers. That makes a difference for a lot of people too, Arch. So interested to pick the minds of these guys afterwards. Again, not giving out a lot of secrets. A lot of team chats already being set up. There's a couple co-teams, working together in chats for the next race too. So we're going to see how everything pans out. But this is it, guys. I'm excited. Like, if we have any action like we did last time, plus the night before, the development race the other night, we had a record number of people, a lot of people getting drafted, the Xfinity, the Dirt Championship, Jake taking both championships in Xfinity, K-Taddy takes the Dirt Championship, Noco takes the Custom Cup, and UK with that truck. So, guys, we've only got one more crown to be, king to be crowned this week. Congratulations to all of those guys, too. They have worked their rear end off. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. And, yeah, everybody in this league has worked so hard, man, especially the guys that took home these championships. But we don't want to forget the guys that finish second to them every week. There's been a lot of guys that put in a lot of performances. I mean, especially in that Xfinity series with Jake just being so dominant and Pendle and them guys having to finish second all the time. It was fun.
That Xfinity Talladega race was absolutely insane. One lap, Jake smacks the wall. I mean, he just knocks that thing down. We think it's going to jump over to Jackson. Jackson clips the apron, does a 360. We could think it's going to go back to No Pit. No Pit ended up having a little accident that we missed earlier and fell back. So, and it ended up Jake took it. That was one intense race last night, all within 2 laps, too, on top of the great racing throughout. Boomhauer was trying to give himself, the new guy, the Keystone Cowboy, Boomhauer, with this new name, trying to give his buddy Jackson a push to the championship. They lost contact, so Boomer finally gets his elusive Talladega win last night after 3 heartfelt races at super speedways, and it was just an all-around great night.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a letdown lately, man. We've had a lot of great racing, a lot of good side-by-side battles.
That's awesome to hear too. Again, we got Brian, we got Arch, myself, Mr. Puddin' up in the booth, and it looks like we are going to get Alex Ned. This is going to be one barn burner of a broadcast on top of the racing these guys are going to produce. Always a honor to be up here in the booth with Alex. It's happened one time. He wasn't feeling real well. Had to leave a little bit early, so great to have him up there, man.
I already have.
I'd already suggested him once before, Bubba. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is our Beeler leader right there, K-Taddy, giving us some direction. Well, that's right. Yeah, that's why I'm telling them that he is on do not allow. That's why you hear people talking to somebody, but that other person's not right there. So, yes, NRJC, if somebody has their voice on don't allow, yes, we. There you go. Always the observant NRG. There he is. Say it, buddy. Come on, Alex Ned. Say it. What up, man?
Man, how'd y'all not get me?
We are broadcast. We are live, Alex.
Oh, hi.
All right.
We just got the update run right there. RJ Smitty sitting on the pole. Buck coming in second. Mills fourth and Wicked sixth. And Wicked has the fewest amount of points tonight, too. So he's got a lot of ground to be made up to get into this championship. Just to catch you up, Alex, once again, I was hoping you were going to give us the "What's up, people of America?" That's your famous trade line.
Hey, people of America. It's glad to be here. And again, I'm glad to help out. Unfortunately, I don't know the whole point situation. Maybe someone could forward that to me on my...
We got 4 drivers. RJ Smitty leading with 2,028. Right behind him, second is Buck with 2011, then Mills with 2004, and Wicked at 2000. And after Kansas, we're going to Homestead, where they're going to have no points. But one driver is going to get eliminated from Kansas. Then they're going to take it motto at Homestead. Best finish wins. It's going to be.
Oh, that's
I mean,
awesome.
I don't know if you watched the race last night. If you didn't, Alex, you got to go back. It was. Oh, whoo! It was crazy.
I am very much excited. Can someone also send me another invite? Unfortunately I joined early, so before you guys go and load in, can you send me an invite just to the party?
No problem. I'll be happy to do that once we get the A-OK. Once again, everybody out there in YouTube land, we're starting to get watchers. If everybody in Giggity is not watching this, you guys are crazy right now. This is it. This is the last race. It's the season ender for the Cup, guys. Come support your friends. Come support your team. I know some people can't always right there. K-Tat says accept on the chat. But thank you, Martin, NRG, Robert. Great to have you guys out there. Go ahead and accept those insights. Going to blue screen just for a second.
Actually, I was able to get an invite there, so.
Oh, perfect. All right. Once again, what I'd like to do is before we jump in, I'd like to send everybody else one more invite just to be on the safe side for later on in case anything happens. But here we go. It's on like Donkey Kong, boys and girls.
You know, at Kansas Motor Speedway, that's one of those tricky mile-and-a-half tracks there that you have to run the high side. We typically see a lot of those mile-and-a-half tracks on NASCAR Heat 4. We typically see people using the low line, but we're going to see a lot of people traveling near the wall tonight.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, you know, high, wide, and handsome here at Kansas. And if you scrape that wall too, it can upset that, maybe push you down in front of somebody else, slow the car up behind you. They might get into you. That medium line's great for passing, trying to do a slider, but you have to commit because that high line has so much momentum, Alex. It's crazy.
Looks like the green flag is out. RJ Smitty already up front, got a shove from the 00 car, but now side by side, and you're going to want to get to that outside line there early. Looks like the 18 car was unable to tag along. He'll look to the inside as they are 3 wide, briefly going into turn 3, just up to speed. RJ Smitty looks like he's going to lead the first lap here. Can he lead the last one as we get underway here at Kansas?
RJ Smitty and Buck both in the points consistency. That's that 00 pushing him right behind him. That I do see that paint scheme right. That's also Mills too. Mills trying to work his way back up to the front. Everybody trying to get the high side. They are 3-4 wide in the back as I'm looking through
One
first
car
game right now.
In the wall, that was the 3 car, and you see how it actually checked up most of the field. I don't know if that was lag or if he just actually got into the wall, but a lot of guys had to go to the inside, and that's actually going to stunt their momentum as far as progress forward, because you then have to adjust your line to go to the inside, and that's not the fastest way around. When somebody has a problem in front of you at Kansas, it could really affect your entry and exit the next corner.
They're still going duking it out back there, 2 and 3 wide, trying to get to the high side, making that low line work. The 18s is Titans, guys. 18s is Titans. That's a name we haven't got to say this much, so I had to write that name down just to get him familiar. Mills in that blue or that normal blue deuce, but he's putting that black and gold deuce right behind that Buck. Buck's coming up behind RJ. Again, all 3 of them in the Pinch Championship. I'm going to have to scroll back real quick just to see where Wicked's at, because again, he's got a little bit of ground makeup, and Buck beats them, and that really will solidify that for his points.
Man, I can't tell you how nerve-wracking it is to travel that close to the wall at over 180 miles an hour and not make a mistake. The person that's going to have success here at Kansas is going to be the person that does exactly that, not have a mistake when they're that close to the wall. You see a challenge from Buck to the inside, but it's just not enough. In fact, he's going to lose second place. He'll go back to third. It's the 2 car goes up and takes that spot away from him.
Right as we jump on board with Wicked, Wicked goes on the inside of 18. 18's is tight, and here it is, boys and girls. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of the points championship contenders running right up here against the wall, first through fourth under a blanket. Mills goes to the inside right there. Buck still pulls behind him. Larson doesn't know where to go. He wants to stay on that high side. Mills trying to pull back up there, but he just can't do it. Wisely goes to the inside, Alex.
Man, this battle is just heat up.
Oh, RJ, the wall.
Goes the 24 car. He bounces it hard. Everyone taking evasive action to the inside of the racetrack. Your pole sitter, RJ Smitty.
Not
significant impact and slows down all the way from first to outside of the top 10 in one move.
Jumping on board with him right now. We just jumped on board to see what was going on. He worked his way back, all the way back, trying to count the cars. We do have a couple
another
new people
car on the wall. That's the 20. go with the flow. 15 made contact with the 9, and I don't know if that was a factor of the 24 car still trying to get up to speed, but my goodness, he fell way outside. He has his work cut out. It's a good thing stages are on, because that is some significant ground the 24 car is going to have to make. And again, just as I was saying that earlier, right before we got the green flag, the guy that is going to win this race is going to be the guy that does not have any problems hitting that wall. Unfortunately, that's exactly what the 24 car did.
The other night here at the Custom Sliders, too, RJ Smitty was in the championship there, and he got pulled back, way back out due to an early race incident at Alex, and managed to get himself back up to the Homestead race. So anything is not open, like you said, stages are on, cautions are also on. I don't expect to see too many, but just in case, I think he is praying for one right now. But Buck is now pulling Wicked out front for second. Mills right there behind him, and it appears that K Taddy is in fourth, too, in that 11 car.
I want to go back to the 24 car real quick, because also significant is the damage that we received. You look at that right front corner, it's pretty well crumpled, and that could affect, even a second of damage could affect the handling. These guys have worked. I think this is a preset lobby, right?
Correct, yes, Sliders.
So they've they're not custom setups, but I'm telling you, with 1 second of damage and the way that right front looks like, that can affect the handling of that race car. Not only do you have the issue that you had that sent you to the back of the pack, but you're not going to be able to make up as much time as you'd like. In fact, he's kind of a roadblock. You see the 19 and another competitor behind him trying to get around him. Problems continuing to compound on the 24.
Yes, this is an aero-sensitive track, plus, as we know, the damage that it takes the handling of that car, too. So he does want to see cautions or that stage get here as soon as possible to get that car fixed. Jump back on board right here on board with Robbie. I think that's the piece behind the 43. 43, if I remember crooking through, that's the one and only Nannerbred, NRG from Ohio, if I do remember seeing that correctly. Great to see him out there. Checkmate Taylor looking good. RKM pushing this Ford 12 Mustang car. He's just sitting back by low, watching these guys race in front of him. Action is happening. Let's get back to the front of the pack here real quick, Alex. I'm trying to flip through on the camera here. I'm doing the broadcast also, man. Dude, we got action all across the track. Do not want to take away from anybody, but we do want to focus on our points contenders tonight.
Yeah, right now, it looks like 00 car and the 2, they have checked out a little bit. Excuse me, the 00, and that is
Buck.
Buck, yes, Buck. And the 42 Wicked Gatekeeper, as you mentioned, they're top 2 in points, battling it out and running right to. They separated themselves a little bit by a good, I'd say, half a second in front of the 2 car, who did briefly just touch the wall, and he might lose third as Taddy took a look to the outside there, and he'll actually fall back in line. But my goodness, the 2 car, he continues to ride that wall right there, kind of arc it really, really up high.
That 2 car being Mills. If I'm on board right now on the hood with RJ Smitty back here in this 24. If I'm counting, I do believe he's in 11th. Again, kind of hard to see. There's 4 cars.
Contact the 43 and the 47.
Right
Nanner
there.
into the wall hard after the contact between the 47 machine, and now he will join the 24 car as far as damage and being outside possibly of the top 10. I don't know if the 43 car got loose first and hit the wall, or if there was contact that sent him into the wall. Regardless, though, the 47 and 43 made contact right there, and it did not work out for Nanner.
Jumping on board with Nanner right there, seeing the 3 pull up behind him. The 3 got around RJ, the 3 being, of course, our own NP Rooper. He's driving that Chevy Power tonight. He's going to try and make the inside. RJ still to the outside right there, so again, these contenders, it's the last race of the year. Well, tomorrow, the next one is they want to get a W. The last 2 races of the year, Alex, these guys are all fighting for a W. You don't want to mess up a championship contenders a night, but at the same time, you want to be able to say, hey, I got a W here in Giggity, which is very difficult to do as we see K Taddy in 4th, right behind Mills.
He's been very patient there. I think he's kind of biding his time, but at the same time, you kind of want to get around this 2 car in case the caution does come out, because that's going to put you to the outside, usually for a slight advantage on the restart, and we haven't talked about that, but we know we'll at least have 2 of them. On the restart, you want to go to the inside there and try and get in front before you make that high side grade. Oh, in the wall, hard!
Mills
The 2
and Taddy.
and the 11. 11 spinning out of turn 2 right in front of traffic. More contact as he goes upside down. Yellow flag is out immediately for the 11, who had contact with the 2, and it was a big problem for most of the field heading that way.
What we were just talking about, unfortunate for those two, especially Mills being in contention tonight. This is what RJ wanted to see. He wants to get down in there, possibly make some adjustments on his slider car, get his damage fixed. Mills also did not want to be participant in that accident, but he can also go down there and get his adjustments and fix his car. This is a chance for everybody to get 4 fresh balonies and get a belly full of fuel, and I think they'll be able to get to the stage then. So unless we see another caution, but let's rack them and stack them, Alex.
You know, we haven't talked much about tire wear, but we were just getting to the run, and I don't know exactly how many laps we were before that caution came out, but we were getting to the mark where tire wear would begin to be an issue, and I saw that 2-car. He had been flirting with the wall. Again, I don't know, and I wish we had the benefit of a replay if it was him getting into contact with the 11, or if he just hit the wall and the 11 came afterward, but we were definitely in the process of tire wear going into effect. Checking with some of the other competitors, looks like the 24 car has rebounded inside the top 10. That's nice. The 43 in the back of the pack doesn't get going. Most of the field, again, that slight advantage will go to the inside line.
Oh, Buck gets way loose.
Double zero of Buck. Looks like he is lagging in front of the field.
That's uncharacteristic for him. We don't see that. Here comes Wicked Gatekeeper to the inside. I do believe that's RJ right on the inside of Mills right there in these orange cars. They're 3 wide back here, guys. Holy
and
cow.
the 18's going to have contact with the wall. Another competitor going in there, spinning his 8 car right in front of traffic. And the 19 is in it. Yellow flag out again.
Oh.
It is. Man, things were clean and green for the first couple of laps right now, but now yellow fever taking over Kansas Speedway. Another crash, this time on the exit of turn 4. I saw the 8 car sideways. Right before that, the 43 had gone down pit road. I don't know if he had actually made it onto pit road before the yellow flag came out. So that's a story that we'll have to follow out, but he will regardless be in the back of the pack. And lag, perhaps, out of the double zero there.
Unfortunate to see, but again, they're going to get him back up here. Trying to write down some names. We're seeing Timac up here. We got Titans. We got Creed. These guys want to participate in the Cup Series. They said, we're here. So I'm just trying to jot their names down real quick. So, again, we don't call them by the randoms. We call them by their names out there. And trying to see who's in the lead. And that is Buck right there, 47. That's the man, the myth, the legend. That's English Robbie, the Brit himself in that 47. Buck to the inside of him. Mills goes down low. They're going to take it into turn 1 here, 2 wide. Buck goes up to the outside. Mills still on the inside. Robbie right behind him. Holy cow, Alex.
They're just getting up to speed right now, and I think the 2 car, this is where you definitely want to try and clear, use the inside to your advantage. I don't know if as Robbie continues to block that lane, and I'm not so sure that we still haven't seen the last out of lag issues out of that double zero. He seems to be kind of jumping a little bit back and forth.
Real quick, not to
Wicked
Gatekeeper hard in the wall. Not to take away from anything, we do have somebody else in the booth. Brian's up here. He's silent but deadly when he joins in. Everything
in the wall, 47. Robbie Vids hits it. And now, a big stack up out of turn 2. The 18, the 24 threading the needle, 3 wide heading to turn 3.
RJ Smitty to the inside of him. That's Timac in that 32 right there. Can't clear Titans.
Right now, I feel like you need to try and at least set the race yourself as far as just get into a rhythm. You don't want to be kind of in this pack. That's where we're seeing a lot of these issues right now, but it seems like no one could break away from one another because of these restarts.
The best way to finish the race, the winner race, is to finish it. You can't be in any accidents like you just said. Patience will be a virtue. These guys all want a W coming in these last 2 races, and these guys definitely.
The 11 to the inside. 12 into the 2, 3 wide out of the corner, 4 wide. That typically doesn't work.
Titans, Checkmate Taylor, RJ Smitty, Mills, MP Rupert, Robbie, all Caddy leading the pack right there. Look at this. This is incredible. 20 gets loose, comes up there, takes Wicked into the wall.
He did. He got out of shape heading into turn 1. He was unable to keep it, gather it up. And unfortunately, the 42 car was there. Look at the lead that this has given the double zero.
That's an advantage for him. He has clean air, not anybody to worry about. Can run his line, not has to push his car too terribly hard. 2 car gets around. That's Mills. Wicked gets into him. That's our Robbie Vids right there. 19-2. Nannerbred. Wicked gets. We had
3rd time.
Is that our? I think that was 3 of our championship contenders right there. if I do believe, got involved in that, guys. Tempers are getting to flare a little bit. They got to calm down, Alex and Brian. They have to.
This is uncharacteristic of a giggity race right here, but this is also an uncharacteristic time in the playoffs. We have 2 races, as you said there, Pudding, and, it's go time. That's probably why we're seeing these mistakes, but my goodness, the 2-car, I lost count how many times he had bounced the wall between his teammates sending him in there and him finding it on his own. Unfortunately, Mills was unable to survive that one out of turn 4, and he'll have to restart in the back of the pack. I don't know what this means as far as stage 1, if how many laps to go there.
Normally we do have an in-race reporter, but everybody wanted to focus tonight, so everybody respectfully declined. Brian, I don't know if you can. Do you want to jump through on your YouTube as we go back to green here? RJ Smitty worked his way back up to second, third right there behind Taddy. You want to see, Brian, if there's anybody doing an in-car broadcast, so maybe we can get some insight?
Yeah.
Again, guys, Brian's up here
I'm
too.
impressed.
Alex and I keep talking quite a bit. Let's not take away from him. But Alex right there. Look at Taddy. RJ Smitty coming back up to him. RJ Bucks right back there in fourth.
1 car out of shape on the back stretch. The 00 now in traffic for the first time today, and 2 competitors that had trouble early in that stage 1, the 11 and the 24, have been able to rebound nicely. In fact, the 24 car, your pole setter, he's taking a look and has the preferred line, the outside line, heading to turn 1.
12 goes to the inside of 00. He's going to lose another position. Again, he's just got to stay ahead of everybody, get as many points. On board with Titans up by that wall. Gets down, gets a little loose.
Wow.
Now gets it there. MP Rupert right there, too. Oh,
That was a great move to go to the inside, 3 wide. He'll take it all the way to the outside line. Contact slightly between the 11 and 00 right there. But RJ Smitty from the bottom of the racetrack to the lead in 1 move. But it's not over.
No, man, we still have a long way to go here, Alex and Brian. These guys are trying to get anything they can. We got 17 participants tonight, one of our largest cut fields. A lot of new drivers, a lot of the captains. These guys all trying out for next year. Car gets loose. I believe that's RKM in that 12 car. He brings it back down, gathers it back up, Alex. And look who our leader is.
The fault of the 11, though, and more stack up the 9 car into the wall. And why we're seeing these issues as the 11 Taddy continuing to ride the wall out of 4. He'll get out of everyone's way.
And look who's back up there, Alex.
A lot of position.
He's leading, Alex. RJ Smitty with his fault earlier, back up to the lead. This is what happened to him here the other night. Fell back, played it patient, worked his way back up through there with the cautions, and made it to Homestead. He is now leading the pack after he got hit real hard for early laps.
I believe we might be in stage 2 currently, but we're trying to get a lap count for you guys as don't know what exactly happened right there. Again, some of the storylines that we're following continuing to be the top 4 that are fighting for that championship, but RJ Smitty has been able to rebound from that earlier issue, hitting the wall.
RJ Smitty is leading, Buck in third right there, and Wicked behind him. Again, 3 of those guys right back in that top 4. Mills trying to work his way back up after he had a little bit of an incident with the wall, and I see him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back there battling with the 8 car, so he is trying to get that Mustang back to front so he can contend for this at Homestead. Buck goes to the outside, RK right there. RJ right there too, trying to make a move up front. RK goes to the inside. Buck gives a nice little bump right there to RJ on the outside. They are running that line, which you're talking about. Draft into effect. Gets it a little loose on Buck. RK comes up behind him. RJ is still pulling the Buck down the back straightaway here, Alex. Holy cow. Cars to the inside.
Yeah, right there, the 12 car trying to make that inside line work. We just haven't seen that yet, but these guys have been able to go down pit road, so perhaps make some adjustments. Oh, in the wall, the 9 gathers it up in the back of the pack. We'll keep our focus, though, up front. Buck continuing to try and get to the outside. You just want to, as a competitor, they're putting, I don't know exactly how to make a good pass
Buck
here.
to the inside of
How
RJ.
Trouble out of turn 2, the 18. Around and backwards.
Titans, yes.
Single car incident. Nope,
I see the
more
8th
carnage.
round too. Yes, and I was just going to say 4 of our top 5 contenders, our top 5 positions are 4 of our contenders tonight. Mills has worked his way back up in there. I do not see a caution yet, though, guys.
No yellow flag. Robbie was also involved in that, the 47 car.
Yep, there it is. It is official. All 4 of these guys, all of our contenders, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Buck leading RJ. RJ's right in front of Mills. Wicked pulls in behind him, guys. So there we go.
The top 4 battling for a championship here at Giggity. And Buck able to maneuver his way back up to the front. Your pole sitter sitting in second. All these guys are running nose to tail with no room for error.
Guys,
Again, what's also interesting is that all these guys have had some sort of trouble in this race early. They've all been able to overcome it, but they can't make those mistakes if they expect to hold that championship trophy at Homestead.
No, exactly. Mistakes are very valuable tonight. Every now and then it's all right to make one. Tonight you have to be on a zero mistake policy. And when you're driving around unfamiliar drivers like we have tonight, Alex and Brian, we also have the biggest field. These guys are also trying for a W. Buck into the wall.
He
Mills
hit the
goes around
wall,
him.
double
Mills
zero.
to front, wicked to the inside of Buck, Alex.
It wasn't so long ago that 2 car was upside down, barrel rolling out of turn 4. He's been able to rebound there nicely through NASCAR Heat 4 graphics. He's been able to take the lead with the 42 right behind him.
RJ falling off the pace a little bit, it appears, so they're starting to separate a little bit. Wicked trying to catch Mills. Mills exactly where he wants to be. He's in that catbird seat. He says, catch me if you can, you know. Wicked, as we know, I talked to him not too long ago. He's been really focused. He said he was nervous going into the last championship. Can't imagine how this one is. Barely let it slip away. Carves hit that apron. Buck gets a little loose coming off of that up to the high side. Mills still your leader.
We have a slow car on the front stretch. It is Nannerbred NRG, who is very slow on the front stretch. In fact, Yellow is out for the 4th time today. I don't know if that was
I don't know
the end
if
of the
that's
stage.
staged or not, yeah.
Maybe that might have been the end of the stage right there. But, Brian, you had a report there?
No, I say that's probably there's cars wrecking, but yeah, I think it's the end of the stage. I don't know who's streaming and who's not. So
If that is the end of the stage, indeed, it would be the 2-car Mills getting it done. And it has been eventful so far. What have we learned and what can we expect in stage 2?
These guys definitely have to learn some patience, and you have to learn too that there might be a caution. Don't push yourself. Don't drive it. Don't put your car in unfamiliar territory and take a chance right now. Chances are not very equitable to these championship leaders, but the others out there, they want that W. So it's a craft ice right now. And what we're going to see, Alex.
Stage 2 underway. Wicked with a wickedly fast pit stop, able to get in front of the 2-car there, still side by side, and up to speed as the 12-car puts his nose in trying to help the 42-car maintain the lead. Now, teammate from Team Penske battling
That's RKM on
side
that
by
12 car on the
side.
side. Yep. Buck right there in 3rd. We see
that's
20
the end
car
of
right
the
there with him.
first stage. First place was Mills. Second place was Wicked. Third place was Buck. Fourth was RKM. Fifth was RJ Smitty. Sixth was Go With The Flow. Seventh is Rooper. 8 is Checkmate. And 9th is Life Is a Plant. And rounding out the top 10 is Timac.
Thank you, Brian. We do appreciate it. Everybody out there in YouTube land, they've been asking about
double
it.
zero tried to clear himself. It was not, and around goes Wicked Gatekeeper because of it.
Checkmate
Buck
Taylor
tried
in
to
that
clear
night right
himself on the backstretch, and he takes out a competitor fighting for that championship.
Wicked Gatekeeper stopped on the backstretch. Checkmate Taylor now up here battling with the lead. Mills still trying to pull it away from him. RJ Smitty on the inside too. Man, it's
That
intense,
was a little
isn't it,
bit of
Alex?
greed out of Buck there, pudding. And unfortunately, the Wicked Gatekeeper, through no fault of his own, he was a victim right there, and no yellow flag. He did go to the back of the
20
pack.
off the
We see,
wall.
20 up the tree's track, and the 24
RJ
below
Smitty way low too.
the racing surface.
Oh,
It's
RJ
Smitty's
spins
around.
around
Goes to
again.
24.
RJ back around, Alex Bryan. Again,
Single
no
car
caution.
incident. In 2 laps, 2 of our competitors fighting for the championship are now running dead last and just in front of that position. I think 16th and 17th.
I'm telling you guys, they need to put these cautions on a slider scale. That way one car can't cause one, but one on purpose, but then an accident like that should have brought out a caution. That's just my opinion. They need to put it on a slider scale to help that intense a little bit. We're going to jump back into the action here. Jump back through the field again. Try not to take away from our leaders and our championship contenders. We are still going 2-3 wide back here. A lot of these guys are new to Cup. Some of these guys are Cup drivers next year. Got the opportunity the last 3 or 4 races. A couple new names up here that I haven't seen for a while. Great to see everybody up here, but I see that 9 pushing the RK Checkmate Taylor's pushing RKM. He's right behind 20, and they're up there in the top 5.
I want to go back real quick, not to take away from the action up front, but we got to continue to show what is happening in the back of the pack, and that is the 42 car again. Wicked gatekeeper, an innocent victim from a mistake, mainly by the 00 there. Again, he tried to clear himself, trying to get up there. I don't know if the car just wanted to go. He got tight, and the car traveled up the racetrack, but unfortunately, the 42 car was the leader, and he got into the wall, and around he went, and now he is riding around by himself with damage. That's important to note because he's not going to be able to make up any time, and he'll need the aid of a yellow flag to get caught back up.
Jumping on board back there with the 24 of RJ Smitty, one of our contenders, riding by himself, trying to get into a rhythm. Saw him tap the line at wall just a couple times. Hard to get back into rhythm after you just got to let your frustrations run. Again, he worked his way back to the front after a circumstance earlier. He did it last race to get to Homestead, so it's not over for you guys. Everybody play cool, work your strategy, and see how this works out. But look at this, Mills up front pulling the 20 car, and Chuckmate Taylor right behind him.
So I want to ask, as a competitor that's fighting for a championship here, if you're 00 and you know you made a mistake like that, can you expect perhaps payback from the 42 car?
Especially if the 42 does not make Homestead. I'd like to think not because of the classiness that we do have here, but that would be his second time of missing out on a championship in just a couple days. So RJ, again, that's a crapshoot too, man. A lot of respect. I know how they is. Checkmate Taylor in 20 going too wide right behind Mills, but I would definitely have my rear view on if I was Buck in that 00 just to be on the safe side. These guys working real hard up front. Mills still pulling this little 3-car train. He is in the championship. The other guys right now started to fall back a little bit, Brian and Alex.
Yep. Now we're starting to see a single, this race at least single itself out. And we could go back into the handling woes that these guys might be on.
Yeah, we talk about racing. It too. Caution's breeding caution sometimes, Alex, so you got to be careful about that. We've got everybody getting back into a single file, trying to get up to the high side like you were talking about earlier. It is fast up here. That momentum, that medium line's a great chance to pass. Go back and watch the last Kansas race. Kate Teddy had 4 slide drops in 3 laps that were just incredible power moves. Wonder if we'll see that later in the race from any of these drivers trying to get up there.
I like what I'm seeing from both the 20 and the 9. We haven't talked about them up front as of late, and they've had some issues. I know the 20 car has hit the wall, and so has the 9, but they're riding along just in the tire tracks of the 2 car, and these front 3 have been able to separate themselves from the rest of the field pretty significantly. You see about a second gap in between 3rd and 4th on the racetrack right there, and we do know pit stops will need to be had. And this is an interesting pit road to get on because it kind of goes over a bend. Like the pitting here at Kansas is a little trickier than what you would think they're putting in. Why is that?
The entrance level, you got to get on the binders, downshift, and you got to get down to pit lane speed without locking the tires up. We have proved just because on your speedometer it said that you were in with your sliding, it still counts it. So you got to downshift through those gears, not spin the car around, come off of that banking, and not upset the drivers behind you. You have to notify them if you're not in the chat with them too. So
our first competitor that's on pit road is the 12. Do you think that he drags everybody else onto pit road?
Maybe that's a little bit of strategy for him. That's RKM. Let's see what happens. That does tell me, though, Alex, we are coming up to green flag pit stop. So let's see how everything else works. 20 was go with the flow. He's still up there with our leader. Mills, 9, like you said, Checkmate Taylor. Great to see them up there trying to get that W. I'm going to click back here real quick. The License of Plant. They got a 4-car, 5-car battle. K-Taddy being one of them. Trying to see the other numbers. Man, there's just so much good racing all around this track right now. Buck is now getting passed on the inside by that 8. MP Rupers right behind Buck on that high side. That 32 of Timac makes a great slide job on the inside of 19. 19 tries to go back underneath him. That's Timac and License of Plant. Taddy pulls in behind him. 47 of that's our man, our English Robbie. He's going to the inside of these guys. 5 cars back here battling for this position.
RKM is up to speed just right now, and he will now be shown 1 lap down. But has the freshest tires, and we'll see he was 4th when green flag pit stops started to begin. Kind of early, I think, but you have to wonder if he was abusing that right front or if he decided to use that to his advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on board with our leader, Mills, just to see, again, with those green flag pit stops starting to come out, to see what his strategy is. He is being the leader right now. See what he's thinking. He is one of our contenders tonight. Trying to count through the field here to see where everybody's at. RJ and Wicked again got in another mishap, pushed back to the field. Buck and Mills were up front. Everybody's starting to spread out a little bit at Alex
And
Bryan.
going to those green flag pit stops, we know that there's damage on both the 24 and the 42. What also is going to really bite them in the rear is the fact that they're going to have to fix that damage if they do decide to fix that damage. They're, not gaining any time. In fact, they're probably losing a little bit of time while they continue to be out on the racetrack. But if they stop and decide to fix that damage, that's seconds on the clock. That's going to add to their pit stop. And again, it's just not going to end well for them as far as this stage.
Damage is damage. We know how aerosensitive these cars can be, especially when you pull up in the draft. Me being a gambling man, if I had 1 to 3 seconds of damage, I would not fix it until the stage. Anything more than that, you might have to stay in contention but we'll see how it all plays out for them again. Everybody
But
has
don't
a
you
different
think
thought
they're
path.
putting, even not fixing a second of damage, don't you think that could cost you more in the long run? Because we've seen how the handling of a race car, especially on NASCAR Heat 4, even 1 second can dramatically alter the feel of that race car.
Yeah, you're right, but if you can be right on somebody's rear bumper in that draft at all times with them, your likelihood is more difficult to stay in the draft. But if you've been able to maintain that, though, I think you should be able to hold off on it, though. But a lot of, heavy front end damage, like some of these cars have, you got to get that fixed as soon as possible. Just don't want to lose a lap. It's hard to get it back. K-Taddy now going down pit lane as I see. Robbie Bids and Plant back here, go with the blow battling out for 19. So yeah, these guys.
Looks like the 9 car was able to get around the 20 right there, and he might be going down pit road. That to me, he's offline right there. Tells me that he might be going to pit road this time by
Something, Brian and Alex, let
And
me
the
ask
9
you guys
car's
a
in.
question. Yep, Checkmate Taylor now coming down. Some of these guys are in chat parties, some aren't. How do you signal the guy behind you to say, hey, I'm coming down, so you don't take their nose off, or they, they can give you room if they're not pitting them? How do you signal them if you're not in a chat party?
That's a great question they're putting, and something that I've learned from here is that you usually want to travel below either the yellow line or, in reference to Kansas, just below that apron line that kind of lets and signals drivers and competitors behind you that you're planning on coming down pit road. And that's what we saw with the 9 car. He was able to complete the pass in front of the 20, but then he ducked down low, he dipped down low, just touching that line, and he was able to signal to his competitors that he's going down pit road. Also on pit road right now is the 20. I believe all of these are going to be 4 tire pit stops. I don't see anybody taking 2.
See Buck on their pit lane. We see RJ down there again. Those are 2 of our competitors. Jumping back over to the Titans. It appears that Mills still has not pitted. I'm just jumped back on board with him. And you would think it would have to be coming soon. And as soon as I say that, our leader, our championship contender, coming to pit lane.
On the pit road, looks like he got there nice. He had a good lead. And we expect this to be 4 tires since the Nokel fuel. He's been one of the few competitors not to have any issues so far in stage 2. And want to go back to perhaps a little bit of luck on his side. We go back and take a look at this race back in 2019 in the real NASCAR Cup Series. The man that was celebrating in victory lane was that 2 car.
42, Awakened Gatekeeper. He's now on pit lane too. And anything can happen coming off pit lane. We saw this the other night in our customs. Noco, very methodical, very fast driver. When he came off pit lane, he spun it. Mills appears, I think he only took 2 and fueled as quick as he was in while I was on board with Gatekeeper there. But even the best in this game have made mistakes coming off the pit lane, so you got to be careful. Merge on that back stretch. Don't pull up in front of everybody. Give everybody the room that they deserve. We see that quite a bit, but he did spin coming off, so you still got to be careful going on and coming off a pit lane here.
So right now, the 2 car continuing to be our leader. In front of him, you see Wicked Gatekeeper, who needs not to go a lap down. He'll get it back, but if we start putting more, that 2 car gets faster, and he starts putting other competitors a lap down, that could be a problem for the 42 car, as more competitors will be in front of him listed. 9 car and the 12. See the 47, or excuse me, the 19, he'll go a lap down.
Yeah,
Oh, 20 just bounced off the wall right there. And it looked like the 12th car, he was the first of our leaders to go down pit road, but he was unable to really use those fresh tires to his advantage. The 2, the 9, and the 20, all those guys that were in front of him were still able to come out in front of the 20. on that exchange and pit stop.
Just saw one of the newer guys. He raced a couple races earlier this year. Had a little bit of a sabbatical. That's 22 Creed. He's making his pit lane, green flag pit stop right now. Alex and Brian jump back on board with Mills. He does have a comfortable little leading car from the car behind him. Again, without an in-race reporters, guys, we're trying to figure out lap counts and keep up with the leaders in their positions at all times. We are contending for a championship. After this race, one person puts the car back on the hauler to take it to Homestead just to fight for the W, but not for the Cup. See how it all pans out tonight.
You're just now joining us. Some of the top storylines that we are following has been the issues plaguing these guys in the playoffs. The driver with the most to lose has been the 42 car through another competitor. The 00 Buck Racing got into him and spun him around. You see him now fighting for what essentially is his chase life, playoff life, as the 2 car. He is making up some ground and might be a factor. And if I'm that 2 car, why not? Why not put your competitor a lap down? Let him know that if you want this championship, you're going to have to get it through him.
Exactly. Any advantage you can give to yourself here is a giant advantage. I don't want to use the word advantage twice, but anytime, I wouldn't give anybody any slack. It is gung-ho. It is balls out. It is brass tacks and bronze air medals time. You have to, if you want to get the Homestead, you have to be able to do whatever you have to do.
Stage 1 was kind of hectic. The had 3 yellow flags there. In stage 2, I don't believe actually we've had any. Ooh, the 9 checkmate Taylor into the wall. Not going to help him get up to speed and challenge for the 2 car there. But I brought stage 1 because it was kind of a hectic finish, and we saw the 2 car able to survive, basically get the stage 1 win. I don't know if he was really a factor, but now we know he's a factor, and he's been able to stay up front, pretty much dominate stage 2.
I've watched Checkmate Taylor throughout the year too, man. He's made leaps and bounds and strides. He's one to always keep an eye on. He's also had some been in the wrong place at the wrong time throughout the year. So great to see him having a great run tonight here at Kansas.
Let's check back with some of our other competitors in the back of the pack. You see the 11 and the 24 nose to tail. Looks like the 24 car has been able to at least stop the bleeding that was. He did spin with a single car incident, but he's been able to at least put himself inside. I think this would be just outside the top 10. And I don't know if that was a strategy call. He might have taken 2 tires or something. But at least right now, the 24 car is still on the lead lap. His life is still, what do you call it? His playoff chances are still not over.
I'm jumped on board with Wicked Gatekeeper. Mills right behind him. Again, we were talking about that. We do believe Mills is the leader, trying to keep up to him. Real quick out there at YouTube land, we want to give everybody a great shout out, trying to keep up to everybody to date with the action. Normally I would pay a little bit more attention to it, but thanks again. Gabe Burke said Class A, going Class A with Alex and Puddin up here in the booth. We appreciate it, but don't forget we got Brian up here, Tom Horton, Robert Badcock. Thank you guys for joining in. We always love having you guys out there. Like I said, this is it, man. This is the whole ball of wax tonight. Invite your friends. Everybody in Giggity that can be on right now needs to be supporting their friends and their fellow competitors here, because we will have 2 weeks off. This is the last race of season 3 in Giggity Racing, which we are now having over 300 subscribers and 200 racers, including development. It's a huge increase, man. Congratulations to everybody. But yeah, we have a championship to contend for tonight, guys.
That's pretty awesome to know, and pretty awesome to see that all these guys that just love racing are doing exactly what we get to bring to you, Pudding. I know you and I, we both love doing this. We love calling the action up front, but these guys, they put in time every week. They do hard work with people who they've never met, and some of them are giving other people setups. Again, you're a competitor, a setup and everything. That's just how much we love the sport. It's how much we love what we do here on NASCAR Heat 4. So congratulations to Giggity on a successful season 3 and be crowned champion later on. That's going to be fun.
I love how you bring setups real quick too. Yes, we do custom setups. Even though this is a slider, you can quote unquote have a setup on a slider to wedge and tire pressure, tape, all of that. That can be considered a setup on a certain slider. Jumping back with 24, trying to keep an eye on him. Again, no in-race reporter tonight. We do apologize for that. Everybody wanted to focus, and that's completely understandable. But Mills, I do believe, is still your leader. Trying to keep an eye on the other guys. We do have Mills, Buck, Wicked Gatekeeper, and RJ Smitty. One of these guys will go to they will go to Homestead, but they will not compete for the Cup. They're going for the W instead.
It looks
MP
like right now
Riffer
the
blew
person
his
in the...
motor.
Oh, excuse me. Go ahead, Brian.
MP Riffer blew his motor. He's in the pits. He's done for the evening.
That is not good. Normally he drives a Mustang. I always go a little manufacturing bantering back and forth. Just did not know how to handle that Chevy horsepower. MP Roofer put so many hours into this game. Again, 2,000 laps in 1 week at 2 tracks focus, and the intensity that he brings to the track, his focus, hard work that he and helps with Giggity. Him and Etho got something great going on over there at DSR, so we hope to see him back at Homestead, Brian. That's unfortunate for our own MP Roofer. K-Taddy now coming up on the back of 24. Again, I don't know if that's for position, but if that is, that can hurt RJ Smitty.
Right now, I want to go back to the 12th car as well while we're looking in the back of the pack. He was in 4th, but I believe that early pit stop really hurt him as far as tires. He is not on the same set of cyclist tires as everybody else, and it's beginning to show. I don't know why he pitted early, but that 12 is not going anywhere as far as toward the front anytime soon.
12 being our own Canadian up there, RKM stepped down from his position as captain of Canucks and handed it over, immediate full responsibility to our own contender of the championship in that 2 car being Mills tonight. So you will be missed. Always great to race with you, great to talk with you. Glad to have you driving, because that way you're not going to crack me up on YouTube tonight, but on the feed. But RKM, another guy, man, and you'll be missed as a captain. Thanks for everything you've done for Giggity. Still on board with Buck, going to the outside, trying to keep an eye on where these competitors are at and who they're competing with as we go through the field here, Alex and Brian.
2 car continuing to lay down laps, some solid laps, and he has put himself in an entirely different zip code as far as leading this field.
Mills,
but he has not been able to make up any ground on the 42, and that's significant to note there, Pudding, because if this 42 car gets back in cycle with the 2, he might be a threat. I've not been able to see this 2 car really gain. It looked like he was able to stay in touch just a little bit, but now Wicked looks like he's been able to put a little bit more distance in front of him in that 2 car.
I'm not wondering if he's just trying to save his car. Again, it would be a beneficiary to him to help put Wicked down a lap. But again, why waste your car? Why push it? Don't overdrive it, you know. So maybe he's just content where he's at, knowing that Wicked's that far ahead of him. It would, again, help him if he would go a lap down. But maybe he's saving his car, and that is a great strategy on his behalf, too. So we'll see how that pans out. But maybe that would be my thought process. Save my car just a little bit, knowing where he's at.
And that's it. Stage 2 is complete. Mills, your winner. So far, he has swept both stages. Can he lead the last lap now? It's been all Keselowski up front.
We've all seen the movie, Days of Thunder. We have no rights. We have no credit to that. I'm just going to borrow a line from it, though. When Harry Hogg at Daytona tells Cole Trickle, he says, "This is it. This is what it's all about." I can't say anything else about it. This is it. You got to go for it now. Everything's out the window.
So what I like to see right now is now the 42 car, he's going to be restarting here on the same cycle as everybody else. Can he work his way through traffic and challenge once again for the lead? And what's he going to do when that 00 car is in front of him? That's something I want to see.
And we have your top 10 for you. Got Mills in first, second's Wicked Gatekeeper, third is Buck, fourth is RKM, fifth is RJ Smith, sixth Go With The Flow, MP Roofer is seventh, Checkmate eighth, ninth, Life is a Plant, and round out the top 10 is Ty-Mac.
All right, we got him racked up stacked. Green flag
underway.
In the air. Take it, Alex. Go for it. You're better at this than me, buddy. Have at it, man. Great to hear you.
2 car getting a great restart here, and I want to give a quick shout out to the 24 because he had spun and he had rebounded all the way up to 5th, so that 24 car is deadly fast. Nanner into the wall right in front of him. Oh, gets pinched into the wall again by the 12. More contact, and around goes Robbie in the 47.
Oh, English Robbie gets spun around again. He will be in Cup next year. He's been in the last couple races. Unfortunate for him. I know he's been working really hard, been playing it patient, but he will be a force to be reckoned with next year. Again, everybody, I give Robbie a lot of grief. He is not Australian. He is English. Buck hard into the wall. Checkmate Taylor takes contact.
Caddy. Oh, all 3 cars involved in the championship. Caddy is involved. Buck racing around, and the 24 and the 42 with damage. Yellow flag is out for the first time in stage 3.
I know he was already stopped, but I know it was an AI. But Kate Taddy,
No,
concussion
it is
protocol.
not.
No caution.
It is not.
That
No
was-
yellow flag, and this changes everything. We have a battle and a change for the lead up front. The 9 car, Checkmate Taylor's been able to get around Mills, and 3 of our competitors were involved for the championship. Were involved in that crash. Buck, massive damage, front end damage to the 00 right there.
Hard to believe there was
I know
no
the
caution.
24 was
RJ
able to
Smitty.
get through.
Wow,
And
that's
where's
hard to
the
believe.
42 now?
Wicked gatekeeper in that black and green car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
He
If I
is-
think 7th or 8th, if I'm looking back again, I'm on board with Checkmate Taylor because Mills is following him right there. Do not want to lose this battle. But if I'm counting back right, if I can see the car right, Mills to the inside of Checkmate Taylor on the inside. Checkmate has the high line. That's the preferred line. Can't get the job done. Pulls back up. Barely touches the wall with Checkmate. Slows down just a little bit. Mills thinks better of it and says, I'm contending. I got to compete here. I'm not going to push the issue, guys. But yeah, very unfortunate. Holy cow, guys.
Well, the big loser in that exchange is now the 00. Buck Racing. He is on the bottom, on the outside, looking in with that move. And I don't know. I saw the 11 go around. I don't know what set the
He
11.
got hit
Things
so
happen
hard,
so
too.
fast. Yeah, that car spun around like a top. It happened so fast. And unfortunately, at one point, all 3 of those competitors were nose to tail. So I do believe the 42 and the 24 car have damage. It might not look like it on screen, but I'm pretty sure there's some nose damage on both those cars.
Yeah, I cannot believe that was not a caution. I'm still shocked and awe. We're going to get back to the action. 43 of Nannerbred, the Ohio boy, one of my buddies right there, pushing RJ Smitty, trying to get around him. Love his paint scheme. Going back to the young Petty, the son, going to Kyle's son right there, going to that throwback paint scheme. I really like that. Still pushing him back there, trying to keep up with him. Can't see where everybody's at. I'm on board with Buck right now. He's got massive rear end damage. Can't imagine what his front end looks like. That is unfortunate for the young man who has been participating all night up front. Oh, heavy heart. Yeah, he's got a lot of damage. He's got a lot of damage.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know how
car
it's
is
gonna work.
almost undrivable, I guarantee you right now.
Yeah.
At least over 20% as far as aero damage. We don't
Here
know what
comes
the
Titans
engine
on the
is putting
outside.
out.
Titans to the outside of Mills. Makes contact with the wall. Comes down, touches Mills just a little bit. Again, haven't seen a lot from Titans. Great to have him up there. Checkmate still pulling these guys. Mills now has other cars to compete with, too, to try to stay ahead. An accident with these guys could be detrimental to him also, Alex and Brian.
Right now, we're seeing Mills stuck back in traffic. Checkmate's been able to check out a little bit, and the 18 of Titans right along with him. Looks like the 2 car will fall back in line to 3rd place. In the front 4, these guys were all able to get away unscathed. Competitor that was not and did go down pit road is the 11 of K-Taddy.
He definitely had to repair his damage. He didn't have any choice about that. The 8 right up front here, that's Kay Larson. These guys battling underneath the blanket, trying to make that high side work. Checkmate Taylor still pulling Titans. Mills right behind him with Larson there too. You could throw a blanket under these top 4.
Oh, the 9! Looked like he just nipped the wall right there and allowed the 18 a chance to look to the inside.
Here comes
He's got to
Titans.
take it because if he doesn't, here comes the 2 who will
Mills
slice
makes a
his
power
way.
move to the inside.
He does. The 18 had to protect that move right there because if you don't, you run the chance of going from 2nd to 4th.
This race is still not over, guys. We still, if we don't see a caution, have green flag pit stops. Nobody is out of it yet. We proved that last week at Kansas when they were racing here in Custom. RJ had some unfortunate luck, worked his way back up and got himself the Homestead. Barely getting Clip and Tatty at the end there in points. Anything can happen here, so it's not over till it's over. Checkmate Taylor still pulling Titans, pulling 1 or 2 colors down Mills. Everybody that high side, high, wide, handsome. Kyle right there with him, or Kay Larson right behind Mills, keeping in that draft. Gotta stay smooth, gotta be, don't push any issues right now. That would be my philosophy.
Well, and I was going to ask you that there, Pudding, with, it's well known, you usually keep in touch with who's battling for the championship. Usually you have a crew chief or your crew telling you exactly what's happening with the competitors behind you. I'm pretty sure the 2 car knows through the what we can only imagine is a very active chat about the problems for the 00, the 42, and the 24. So does he challenge for the race lead right here, or does he kind of lay back?
Knowing that, look, Wicked Gatekeeper's 2 or 3 spots behind him right now, he has to know the position of everybody else. He has to know that he is in front of everybody. That would definitely help him in points and solidify him going to Homestead. So be patient.
Ooh.
Don't push any issues. Titans in the
Titans
wall. A
in the
little bit of
wall.
contact. K. Larson gets to the inside of him. This is giving Checkmate Taylor a chance to pull away. K. Larson to the inside of Titans. Mills gets around him. This is exactly what he needed. That's another spot that Mills needs for points.
Now he's been able to set sights and have clean air on the race car. I don't think we saw exactly what that 2 car could do because it was in traffic. Now that he has a little bit of clean air on the nose, let's see if he can get back in touch with the 9.
I want to check
But
back
the
here with
18
Wicked
car,
Gatekeeper.
he's not going to give up.
Wicked Gatekeeper not too far behind him. He's got the 19 car behind him. That's life as a plant right there in that 18 pushing him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he's 6. This is a battle for 6 and 7. And look who's behind him in that all yellow car. That's RJ Smitty, one of our contenders too, trying to get up there. He did have the most points out of everybody, but there's so much that can be lost and won at the same time. So RJ Smitty trying to salvage anything he can to get to Homestead.
See the 2 car just brushed the outside wall right there, and Titan's going to try and take a look underneath. Oh, he did more than brush the wall. And now the 18 car is there. Door bumper clear. And the 18 to second place.
Depending upon how it ends up right now, especially with stage points, Mills taking those stage points, that heavy damage that the 00 Buck acquired right there. I see you got Mills, Wicked Gatekeeper, NRJ3, top 6 right now, running with these guys. I think that would be the contenders for Homestead if the green flag were to drop right now. But we still have so much time left in this race. Anything can happen. We can work. They got world lap traffic that could happen. Pits to make a mistake on pit, coming off a pit lane. Anything is still. Nothing is over until it's over. Till that black and white flag's in the air, guys.
And you know, let's go back to the fact that that accident did not cause a caution, and we know that's a factor as far as the game. But as a competitor, when you're in an issue or involved in an accident like that on the racetrack, I've been told that it's best just to lock it down and have the computer triggers a caution when it knows that 2 cars have dramatically come to a stop. But I believe these guys were racing so they want everything that they, in their haste to try, around goes Titans off the front bumper or the back bumper of the 9. Titans is spun on the infield. Single car incident out of turn 4.
Heavy damage.
And nose damage on the 18 Toyota Camry.
Still no caution. I was just on board with Buck right before this. It does not appear that he had fixed his damage. Titans being very respectful, trying to get up to speed, but staying low, letting the cars go around him. Very respectful and unfortunate for him. But yes, Buck, I was just on board with him right before that. Does not appear to have his damage fixed. I don't know if that's the game glitch or if he does, but both front and rear have a damage to Buck. Jumping back on board with Mills right here.
Another competitor that was a victim of a person up front. This time it was the leader, Checkmate, getting into the side, or he got loose out of turn 4, and he kind of bumper hooked the 18 and just dragged him down into the infield. You hate to see it.
One of the biggest fields we've seen in Cup this year. I believe Taddy told me 17 entries tonight. A lot of guys coming back, a lot of new guys coming in. Everybody trying to get that W, but instead you got to be careful because they might be pushing too hard, not giving you the respect that you deserve. But I don't think that was intentional in any shape, form, or way. Checkmate
Back
Taylor
up
still
front, we see the 9 continuing to lead. Some of these competitors that have had issues. The 47 car, Robbie Vids, he has heavy front end damage. He is a lap down. The 11 car also a lap down. And the 9 has company in the form of the 8 and the 2 behind him.
2 being Mills right there again. Not only would a win here definitely help solidify his points, he wants one. He's worked so hard all year. Mills has been denied a couple wins, has a couple checker flags, but at the same time he wants another one, and that's the best way to get the Homestead. And I'm wondering too, Alex, are we going to see like in real life, just like we have in the last couple races, the winner is the champion? You know, that's how hard these guys have to race at Homestead. Checkmate Taylor
wall,
hard in the
Checkmate.
wall. Oh, and he spins around.
Out of turn 4. Everyone taking to the inside. Does he avoid the 24? His teammate, the 43, all at speed. Checkmate Taylor has an issue. out of turn 4.
He was looking so strong, led quite a few laps, heavy damage, keeps the car to the inside as Creed goes to the outside of him right there. Again, he's got to be a little bit upset. Truckmate Taylor has been looking real good. Likes to change those paint schemes in between races. Wonder if he's going to go with that Hooters paint scheme next time. But right now, he was leading this race up front, top 3, little bit of contact. Again, you just never know. Last night, Alex, like I said, 3 of our contenders in two laps hit the wall. Jake was leading, hit the wall at Talladega. Then Jackson spun 1 lap after that. Then No Pit Pendle, he had some incidents last night at Talladega. Anything can happen. Those 3 contenders within 2 laps all had issues, and they were the champion. Those guys going for the cup last night, Alex. It was intense.
And guess who that handed the lead right back to?
That black
the
and
most
gold
dominant car
deuce.
of the day. Wow. It has been a day of survival here at Kansas. I also want to think it also has a little bit to do with the C word, karma. We saw an issue between the 00 and the 42 car that saw the 42 car. Oh, I say karma with a CS to put it. My significant other is telling me that karma is spelled with a K, and obviously I know that. I say karma with a C. I guess I should explain that. But anyway, before I was rudely interrupted by my significant other, we saw the 00 and the 42 get inside one another, and unfortunately the 42 car fell victim. Well, now on this exchange, it was the 00 that had a mistake, and now he is the outside man looking in. Again, we saw the 9 and the 18. This time the 9 made a mistake. It took out the 18. Well, now the 9 car had a mistake. So I think you have to have a clean race. You also got to make sure that you're just clean with everybody else in general, because the karma machine seems to be working overtime.
K. Larson
car
appears
on the
to
pit
be,
road.
Yep, I was just going to say the K. Larson, the 8-mobile's coming into pit load, and guess what, guys? Wicked Gatekeeper, like Alex talked about it. He had a little run-in with somebody else, and that was no fault of his own, right behind Mills. Once again, one of our championship contenders. They're now running 1 and 2. Now, when it comes to Wicked Gatekeeper, what would your pit strategy be? Pit with the leader so you don't lose them? Don't take a chance of going lap down?
Well, I like what the 8 car is doing. Hopefully, it's splitting this last stage in half. I think we're definitely going to see only one pit stop, green flag pit stop, and he was close enough that he could probably use
Did Mills go to pit?
his new tires to his advantage. I didn't like what we saw with the 12 because he pitted way too early.
I just jumped on board with Wicked to see if he was going to gain any ground on the 2 of Mills, and I don't see that black and gold car. So then the time that it took me to switch cars, I do believe Mills is on pit lane. And yep, right here, Wicked Gatekeeper making a little bit of a move. Maybe this is his sign saying, hey guys behind me, I'm coming down. Just let's see real quick, because we're going into 3, coming out of 4. He is slowing down. We now have Wicked Gatekeeper going to the pits. Mills pitted 1 lap before him. Again, these both are in the pit championship. I do believe that's the gold car. If that's the old gold car, trying to check back there. That's also RJ Smitty, one of our other championship contenders too. Maybe, again, green flag pit strategy now in effect.
All these guys going to go down pit road and get 4 tires from Sunoco Fuel. The 8 car was the first of our leaders. He was running in 2nd place. Let's see where he will be in relationship to the 2. Looks like he might have lost a little bit of time.
Yep. Yep, there's RJ, so we got...
And pit road is a busy place. 00 now going to attend to that damage.
Yep,
Live at the plant, the 19 also on pit road. RJ Smitty getting serviced.
The side of Buck's car, man, it looks like he just came from a demolition derby. That's so unfortunate for him. He's tried to stick it out. He is now on pit lane, so we just saw all 4 of our contenders. Jumping back over to Mills. Mills back out on the track. If doing my math right, when everything cycles out, help me out here, Alex and Brian, but I do believe that would still keep Mills out front.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else used strategy, and I don't see anybody else in front of him. It has just been a dominant 2-car type of night, one that I love to see personally as a Brad Keselowski fan. But you didn't hear that from me as I was broadcast.
We're going to jump on board with the Wicked Gatekeeper again. He came in 1 lap after Mills. RJ Smitty right behind him. Buck was there also. So all of our contenders have made green flag pit stops, excuse me. Again, Buck happened probably the longest pit stop if he chose to fix that damage, since we are under green flags.
Yeah. And he did fix that damage, and that's why he's a lap down. Also fixing some damage, and through the state of his spin, the 18 car now fighting to stay on the lead lap. He is just right now in front of the 2 car. We do know that the 8 car, he got on, I think he lost a little bit of time getting and attacking pit road, which goes to what you were saying there earlier. They're putting pit road is tricky here at Kansas. We saw who was able to execute that really well. The 2 car who did not was the 8. He lost a little bit of time there.
Wouldn't say it was one of the top 3 trickiest tracks to get on or get off of pit road on, but I would definitely put it in my top 5. I would have to say Bristol and Canadian Motorsports, one of the most difficult to get off of because the lack of room, or at Canadian Motorsports you bounce off that wall and can spin it. But there is so many tracks here that you just, some are easier than others, and this is, if you're not careful, you got to be easy on that hammer pedal coming out, not to spin yourself around.
Talk about a day of redemption here. This is the battle for third shaping up. It is the 42 car Wicked Gatekeeper taking a look to the inside of the 8 car.
8 cars being Kay
Wicked,
Larson.
if
right
you
there,
saw
19
where
being
he
Plant.
has... Oh, excuse me. Go ahead there, buddy.
No, I was just giving names. Yep, we got Kay Larson, Wicked Gatekeeper, and Life's a Plant all battling right here.
Live in the Plant, I believe, is a lap down. I don't believe he is on par. I don't think he is. He might be. You know, I'm not so sure.
Like
now
I
that I
said,
think about it. I wish we had
the scroller up top, man.
a scoring board.
Yes.
But we do know that the 42 car and the 8 are battling for position with the 19 in tow. I see that the 42 has been able to complete that pass. And he is up into second. And
there's
this
that
goes back to
24
what I
of
was
RJ
talking
Skinny
about.
right behind him.
At the end of that stage they're putting, could the 42 car break through traffic and challenge the 2 for the lead?
We're going to see
right
what
now,
happens.
he's in second, but how much time do we have left?
Again, you and I both like to commentate and broadcast. Brian, thanks again for your help. Archangel does a lot. I really wish they had a better broadcast mode. I wish that the scroller at the top would let us know positions and lapped out and all, etc. But so we're trying to keep it up with it here. But yeah, right now we see Life's Wicked Gatekeeper starting to pull away from Kay Larson and Life's a Plant just a little bit. RJ Spitty in that gold car again, being in a contender, trying to keep up to those 2. Battling with those cars. How much did that wear Wicked's car out trying to get ahead of them, though? You know, that 1 or 2 lap that he battled with them, that might be enough to kill his tires and wear him out just a little bit.
Well, right now, if we're taking a look, let's see where our leader is. We know that 2 is heading into turn 1 right now, and I'm looking at the rearview mirror. I just don't see Wicked.
Wicked just crossed the start-finish line. I'm on board with him right now. So it's
okay, so it's way more than 10 seconds. He's not going to make that up in 1 green flag run. So it looks like this 2 car, he has nothing but time and laps just to run his race, and he's been able to do so through the misfortune of other people and having a good car just himself.
Flipping through, I just saw Kate Taddy in that 11 car. RCER, our Commander-in-Chief, still got a lot of heavy damage. Does not appear to fix that 11 car. RJ Spitty now to the inside of Wicked Gatekeeper, going to the inside of Kay Larson. He is on a rail. Wicked Gatekeeper just got passed by one of his contenders right now. Again, I don't know if that's for a lap, but RJ is on a mission. He says, I want to go back to Homestead. I want it this time, boys.
That is your pole setter, but Wicked is not giving up. My goodness, the drive out of both these cars. If you had a 2 or a 4 on the side of your car, you've been in the wall. But right now, they are battling for second place. And that 8 car is not doing a bad job as well. Life of Plant hanging on, and I believe he might actually be on the lead lap.
Wicked touches the wall.
Touched the wall.
Yep, excuse me, Wicked, yeah, guys. And they still got 3 cars traveling in behind them, too. So, again, not knowing where the position is, that could, if they are lapped down. But yeah, Kay Larson makes a move to the inside. Wicked still, or RJ Spitty still right there. Wicked way up high side. They're making it a high, wide, and handsome work here at Kansas, which you talked about early in the pre-race, Alex. This is, you got to get up there. You got to be smooth. Don't touch that wall. But RJ is on a mission. He is hunting them down. Wicked is starting to fall back. Kay Larson's still trying to get a little sniff of that draft from RJ to stick up there with him.
Going to be too little, too late. And I knew that restart that we had could be an important restart they're putting, because it could theoretically be the last time we saw the yellow flag for an issue on track, and that's exactly what happened. We've not seen the yellow flag at all throughout this stage. It's been clean. Well, it's been green flag racing. I wouldn't say it's been clean, but it has been green flag racing since the drop of the last green flag. Right now, the 24 car has been able to muscle its way to second place, but no matter how much we rave about the drive from the 42 and the 24 to rebound there nicely, it's still pales in comparison to the drive out of the 2 car, because look how far ahead he is in relationship to that. It just goes to show how these guys, they've been bottled down with mistakes, how you could try and rebound but still not have enough to win. These are the type of mistakes that they need to take note of, and they cannot afford to have at Homestead, because you're going to give your competitor the championship.
Yeah, we just jumped on board with Mills just to keep an eye on him, see where he was at, and he is light years ahead of everybody right now. This was his race to lose. If I was Mills, back my corners up, be really smooth on the throttle. Don't cause yourself to make a mistake. You can be your own worst enemy. So with Mills up there, just wanted to check on him. We're going to go back here and get back on board with Wicked Gatekeeper, because he is trying to hunt down RJ Smitty. He still has Kay Larson right in front of him, Liza Plant right behind him, and I do believe that's the 11 car. No, that's the 40 car, 47 of Rob.
47. Robbie is definitely a lap down.
Yeah, Robbie is
was
definitely
involved in that.
Yes, he was a lap
Crash,
down, but
unfortunately.
he's on 4 fresh tires. So, again, trying to prove that he wants to race. But Robbie is so respectful. He will give Wicked the opportunity he needs. But racing with Kay Larson right now, who is in contention for this win in the top 3, is wearing out Wicked's car, trying to give him the chance to chase down RJ Smitty, Alex.
Yeah, and the more these two battle, the more that 24 car gets away. The 8 car continuing to use that preferred line. You see a little bit of contact out of turn 2.
Liza Plant gets loose, comes down in front of Robbie.
Oh, man, the 8 car, he is not giving an inch to the 42 car, but I think it might be over right now. I think the 42 car says, hey, I'm taking this spot.
He pulls up right in front of him. Not necessarily not necessarily the slide job, but that was a little
that
bit
was
of a
weird. I don't know
movement.
why he wouldn't clear up right there to try and get and prevent the 8 car from doing exactly that, get to the outside of him, but this time he will use, but you have to wonder maybe handling issues going to be a factor.
Yep, we got Plant coming in the inside of Kay Larson. Kay Larson touches the wall. He's right behind the 42. Wicked Gatekeeper, and RJ Smitty, one of our 2 of our contenders tonight. He's trying to get caught up to him. RJ Smitty being the points leader right now. I think as it finishes right now with Bucks, the 00 car, Alex, I do believe it would be Mills, RJ, and Wicked, but that's if it were to finish now, but it's not over yet.
It's definitely not over. A yellow flag could change everything, but keep in mind, there will have to be some dramatic changes for the 00 to challenge and try and get a spot for Homestead. Unfortunately, he had that damage that we talked about earlier, and then if the yellow flag does come out, he's going to have to restart in the back of the pack.
And you're a great NASCAR historian. I know a little bit about the history of NASCAR, love history. This takes me all the way back to Richard Petty's last race, Jeff Gordon's first race. Alan Kulwicki won the race. He beat Bill Elliott. Why? Because Bill Elliott got caught up in lap traffic and had an accident. So, again, this isn't for the championship, but this is to contend to get there. So same kind of scenario can happen. If lap cars or anybody else, Davey Allison was in that race also, anything can happen to take these guys out. They have to manipulate these other cars smoothly. They're going to come up on Buck. Buck will be a lap down. He had heavy damage. RJ Smitty starting to pull away from him quite a bit there, Alex. Wicked still trying to get around to Kay Larson, but he's like, Kay Larson says, here I am. I'm going to take this 8. I'm going to try to get with you.
And back to the 00 real quick and his chances of trying to advance to Homestead. He's also not the first car a lap down. So right now the first car a lap down is the 18 of Titans. So he would have to get 2 cautions, or at least do the wave around and hope that everybody does decide to pit in order to get caught back up on 1 caution flag cycle. But again, all those dominoes falling into place, highly unlikely this late in the race.
I agree with that. We have seen a couple caution flags, and we all know cautions breed caution, but I don't see one coming out right now. And unless somebody gets a little loose on old tires or something like that, as Wicked gets a little bit tweaky right there. Kay Larson still on his rear bumper. They're trying to hunt down RJ Smitty. Mills still has this race in hand, Alex.
I love the drive. I love what I've seen out of this 2 car. He's made the least amount of mistakes tonight, and really, it is a definition of what you want to be heading into Homestead. He's been flawless. Didn't panic when he got sent back in traffic. He let his competitors, actually those that were in front of him, make mistakes, and he was able to capitalize on that. He's been the most dominant car, winning both stages, and now it looks like he could sweep here at Kansas.
Yes, I call him Mustang Mills for obvious reasons, striping that black and gold 2 of Mustang for Penske Racing. And he's got his teammate RK out there in the 12 car, but he has walked away with this. He says, I'm going to Homestead. I want the championship. We talked to him a little bit, got the broadcast race with him the other night, and he said he could not wait for tonight. He was practicing, and he's showing his dominance right now. Oh, Wicked Gatekeeper gets a little loose. Touches Kate Larson. No harm, no foul. They stay in it. All 3 cars on the high side. The car right there behind them. Robbie Bids still lapped down. Just trying to stick up there with him. Life's a Plant fell back. But can Wicked catch up to RJ? I don't think he can. He does have the lap car of Buck, who was a contender. I hate to say that. Well, still is until everything's over, right? Right in front of him, though. Let's see what kind of...
It's never over until it's over. We've seen some crazy things there, Pudding.
That's right.
But
that's exactly right. Let's see if Buck isn't
the
respect
fat
if they catch him.
lady, she's about to go on.
Yeah. Yeah, right? So, again, Buck put on one heck of a season to be able to make it this far in a Cup car in Gaggedy Racing. That's just so much for him. I've got to race with Buck, got to play a couple other games with him. He's a great young man. Just unfortunate circumstance. Kate Larson still the outside of Wicked Gatekeeper. They're going to come up on another lap car. Will that play factor after?
I do want to keep an eye and make sure that we are close in tow with the 2-car Mills, because at any moment now the race could end.
I'm going to jump
I
over
don't
to him
think
again.
these guys are not going to be making 2 more pit stops. I don't believe that is the case. So I believe here
Not having to race
soon.
anybody, Alex. He had the opportunity to save fuel and tires, so that definitely helped. Everybody else had to push a little bit harder. It gives him a better handling car at the end of the race.
And again, the guy that did win this race was Brad Keselowski. He was able to get around Bowman on that last restart to win his 3rd race of the season last year. But Keselowski is no stranger to victory lane here at Kansas.
And we do appreciate you being up here in the booth again. It's an honor. I know last time you were feeling under the weather. Glad you're back to being 100%, Alex. We love having you up here, man. And your knowledge of NASCAR and your capabilities, your ability to broadcast, man, it's just absolutely awesome. We still got Brian up here. Thanks a lot, guys. We are not done yet. We got one more race, though.
Yeah, and I'm sad that I won't be able to see that one. I have a race I'll be getting ready for myself. But I'll definitely be tuning in.
Well,
Looks like the 18
Good luck
car
to you. Yep.
is
It tightens.
trying to get his lap back, and that could play into favor for, or is the race over? I think the race is over. I think Mills
that was it.
has won at Kansas,
Until
sweeping
it's
all 3 stages.
Until it's official, it is unofficial, Alex. We know that, but I do believe going to Homestead will be Mills, RJ Smitty, and Wicked Gatekeeper. But until the notice comes across, man, that was a great race, Alex. Again, pleasure to have you up here. A lot of people out there in Giggity Land and YouTube world, they've all wanted to hear a full race from us, and it was a pleasure to have you up here, man. It's an honor. I've learned so much from you, man, and it's so cool to be sitting right next to you here in the booth, man. Wicked is eliminated. I just got right there. Wicked is eliminated.
Oh, wow.
Wicked
So
is eliminated.
is that based on points?
K-Taddy
We
just sent a
have
message
the
across.
finishing order here for you guys. It's first is Miles, second RJ Smitty, third is Wicked Gatekeeper, fourth is Kay Larson, fifth is Life is a Plant, sixth is Nanobread, seventh is Go With The Flow, 8 Checkmate Taylor, 9th is RKM, and 10th is Time Mac, and that's your top finishing order for the top 10.
Yeah, K-Taddy.
So how did that
CEO,
translate the points there, Pudding?
Well, I'm going to have to here. I'll let the man, the myth, the legend, if you would, real quick, just go to Always Allow, just so he can explain everything. But K-Taddy joined the booth. He will give us an update on how everything worked out.
All right, so Wicked finished. He started the night out 11 points behind Buck. So stage 2, Wicked didn't get any stage points, and because of that, he entered that third stage with 9, and Buck had 27. Had Wicked won that race with where Buck finished, Wicked would have advanced, but because he came home third instead of with the win, he's eliminated by, I think, 6 points.
Oh, and that goes back to that accident that we saw in stage 2 there, Pudding, with Buck. So
Yeah,
unfortunately,
when Buck had him in
that
stage
is going to that derails the chances of the 42 car, who had a solid car tonight.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
looked
prior to that
super strong, and
accident.
he was definitely dominant. He was trying to work his way back up there too, man. Alex, that. Wow. See, the intensity, everything is so close here. I love Giggity Racing.
Go ahead there, Teddy. You had something more?
I was just saying, so yeah, that incident, Wicked was in the top 5 when that incident had happened. And
Oh, he was leading.
Oh, he was in the lead.
He was
Okay,
leading when Buck got to his inside, unfortunately.
I was running a little farther back, so I wasn't so sure there. But yeah, so when Wicked was up there, even had he finished in the top 6 or 7 in the stage, he would have had enough points to advance there. But by getting no stage points, it was the end of his season right there at the end of stage 2.
That's so unfortunate for Wicked, because I talked to him the other day while he was doing some practice runs for the custom. He said he was so excited to be up here. But again, to be up here, to contend for a championship, just to be able to have a chance to get to Homestead, though, proves how much talent you have to have.
That really is. So you feel for Wicked right there, but congratulations to, we can go back, we can nitpick, and we can say, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, but it's cumulus of a whole entire season. And so, unfortunately, that 6 spots could have been gained anywhere. It's not just here at Kansas. It could have been at Talladega. It could have been at Dover, one of the many other races that, unfortunately, did not see that 42 car gain enough spots. So,
and we did see an absence of a car tonight, Alex. We did see the absence of that notorious black #1 NOCO vehicle tonight, too. Maybe if he was in there, maybe could that have played a point in, too? So everything happens for a reason. Unfortunate for Wicked, but congratulations to our Homestead contenders, and we're going to bring it to you live. 8:35. Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen out there, we do appreciate it. Brian, Alex, real quick, what are your guys' thoughts on Kansas? We got a couple minutes, and then we'll take it off, and then we're going to go cup racing for the cup.
I like the 2 cars' chances because he just was clean, he was green, and he was able to let his competitors know that if you want the championship, you're going to have to go through Mills. I like what I saw out of that 2 car, but you cannot disrupt the drive that we saw from the 24. He had everything happen to him, and he was still able to rebound and get up to second. Person that will need to step up a little bit and hopefully have a cleaner race is the 00 Buck Racing, who's been able to get through on a technicality. Not so much a technicality, but so much on his performance throughout the entire season. So we know that this guy is good, but can he overcome the mistakes that plagued him at Kansas to win the championship?
Brian, what are your thoughts on going into Homestead?
It's going to be a heck of a show. There's top guys in there, and we'll see how it plays out, and it'll be a heck of a race.
Unfortunate for Wicked, but RJ Smitty, Buck Racing, and Mills going to take it to Homestead. They're going to race for it. There are no points. It's whoever finishes ahead of everybody else. Again, we have a large field, a lot of comeback drivers, a lot of newer drivers. Could they play a fact on where these people finish in position? Excuse me. So real quick, I'm just going to take us off. Alex, thank you for joining us, man. It's a pleasure as always.
Yes, unfortunately, I'm so sad I will not be able to call this next race with y'all, unfortunately, because I'm about to do a league race myself. It started way late. I was hoping it would be different. Oh, but before we go back, let's get a award in with our leader, our winner. Mills, you dominated in the 2 car, doing something that we saw Keselowski actually do in the spring of 2019. What did that say about your drive to the championship, and what did that say to your competitors heading into Homestead? It's a 1.5-mile racetrack, both Homestead and Kansas, but from what you did at Kansas, what can you use in the game? And as far as setup-wise, what do you think will take over into Homestead to help you and give you an advantage?
I talked to you the other night, especially while you were in the booth. Always great to have you in the booth. You said you could not wait for Sunday, and you proved it. So good luck to you here at Homestead, and let's see what Mustang Mills has for the field and the rest of his competitors out there in the championship.
Good luck. Go
Congratulations
get 'em,
on your win there, and good luck at Homestead.
Thank you guys. Real quick, Alex has to jump up, has prior obligations. He's going to go win himself a race. We still got Brian up here. Get one, I think we can handle it. See if we can't get our own Archangel, who does so much for the broadcasting here in Giggity. As always, Mills, congratulations. Brian, thanks for being here. Alex, a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure to race with you and commentate with you. But we're going to take this one off. Y'all be safe now.